we're back after years. Oh, I don't want these ones. We have not done a Walker Talk in a year or more. Mm-hmm. We could check for sure. But we are back by popular demand. People want us back. So here we are. We're going to try something a little different for this and maybe for the next couple of these, where we may try to live stream them, but definitely we're going to video capture for the next couple just to see if it's a little easier. It takes a little bit of the, I mean, it's a little awkward because we can see ourselves on a camera, but it takes a little bit of the stress of having to edit all of the sound clips and then compiling the sound clips and then overlaying them with the drawing and then uploading them. If I can just do it all in one go with a live stream and then upload it to YouTube, that would be much easier. Mm-hmm. And would remove some of the barriers. So this is the 30-second Walker Talk. The last
Not
Walker
30 seconds.
30-second Walker Talk.
So it'll probably be at least 30 minutes.
The last Walker Talk we did was the 19th of April 2020. So basically, you guys have missed all of COVID with us.
But let's be honest, it was pretty much just day in, day out the same thing. We did the exact same thing every day.
Yeah, so I guess we ended up, starting there. COVID was crazy, and I think we actually did talk a little bit about it in that April one, because I mean that would have been at least a month into it. So there was all of the stores running out of toilet paper and rationing food and stuff in Los Angeles. They closed everything down there. Literally everything.
You couldn't go outside
without a mask. You couldn't go to sit in a park. I think Hannah came out and you guys went to the park to sit there with June, and they tried to get you to move, right?
Yeah, well, somebody with a staff t-shirt said, "Oh, you guys don't have your masks on, and regardless, you can't be here. Everyone has to go home." And this was before we really knew anything about it, and so they didn't know whether it would go through the air, or if even just standing outside by yourself, if you would get it. Anyways, there's a lot of hysteria.
It got crazy. So in July of 2020, we moved back to Utah. We stopped. We gave our notice, we stopped our lease, and we moved back to Utah and stored most of our stuff in California because we figured we'd be going back after. And
here we are over a year later and we're still not back. Which
is
crazy.
Yeah, we're still not back in California, which is crazy. But yeah, so I think that was nice. Most of you that are listening to this are in Utah and shared some of that time with us, so that was really nice. It was good to be home and to have June be with cousins and with grandparents and see people that wasn't us. That was nice. Mm-hmm. She learned to walk there. Mm-hmm. She started talking a little bit more there. She grew up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then and so yeah, Utah was really nice through the summer and into the winter. We were there till January.
Mm-hmm. Middle of January.
Yeah, and that was the first winter we'd had snow for a while, for a couple years, because we'd been in Los Angeles and it doesn't snow in Los Angeles. So that was nice. June liked the cold. She liked going out in the snow a lot. Mm-hmm. We'd bundle her up and we'd walk to the park and walk around. There's a park by my parents' house that has just a loop around it. It's just a big square park that has a loop in it, and we just walk that. And then she'd try and go play on different playgrounds and stuff. That's where she slid down her first slide all by herself there. Mm-hmm. It's cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
Good times.
There's one time I tried to take her and Rugby to the park, and I was like, "Oh, Rugby will just kind of run around in the park, which he usually does. But at this point, June like still wasn't really walking, so I had to like carry her along with me. And Rugby at one point just like booked it down the road, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was so mad at him. Oh my gosh, I had to like haul June around like several blocks and find Rugby. And anyways, some lady helped me wrangle him down, and I got him, but I was ready to kill that dog.
Rugby was like
I never took him on a walk ever again.
A little puppy at that point.
Yeah, he's just starting to get a little bit more like
the first walks
but...
we took Rugby on with June and stuff. She was like, she'd ride in the stroller and Rugby would walk along with us, and then like halfway through the walk he'd just want to get in the stroller too, so we'd put him under, there's like a basket under the stroller that we'd like set him in, and
he was still a little baby, he'd get tired really quick.
Yeah, he was a little dog at that time.
Yeah. He's a cute dog.
But, yeah, he's a good dog, but so yeah, we were there. June and Rugby kind of were like thick as thieves friends. June would just like sit on Rugby and like roll around on him, and he was fine with it. I think that it helped. It was nice for her, both of them, just kind of be
when they both were like around the same age, right? Weren't they? Or maybe he was a little younger, but they were the same like size,
like
the
puppy
same weight,
age, and
the same like age, and so they were like kind of at the same developmental stages. so they were growing together, which was really cute.
Yeah, it was really cute. That was a really fun time.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. Also, we obviously, I mean, we're recapping a year's worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try, we got to kind of be brief, because otherwise this would take a year to explain everything that's happened. But yeah, so Utah was really good. After a couple months, we kind of, COVID was like starting to, I guess it was still kind of the height of COVID, but vaccines were definitely going to be rolled out pretty soon. Things like that. We're like, you know what? We're going to go, before Brooklyn has to go back to California, we're going to go somewhere else, like move somewhere else and live there for a little while. So we bounced a couple ideas around. Texas was on our list. And then I was talking to one of my friends that lived in Texas, and his name's David Jellin, and we'll refer to him as David Jellin. Or the Jellins, I don't know. Anyway, I was talking to him. He's like, "Hey, you guys should move here, into the same complex as us, because he lived here, and his brother lives here, and they both have kids that are just a little older than June, like 4 months between June and one of them, and then 4 months between. So Gabe, I'm gonna do this real quick. David Jellin is my friend from my mission. I lived with him after, while I was going to college. I lived with his family for a little while and got to know them really well. So David is my friend. David's older brother, who we refer to as Nate, which is because that's his name. Nate is also, Nate is his older brother by 2-ish or 3-ish years. And he married a woman named, who we will refer to as Cicely, because that's her name. And then David married Clarissa, who's one of, and anyway,
I'm going to call her Sarah just to throw things off.
Sarah. they are the ones that live here. Those are their names. We're going to refer to them by their names from now on, instead of my friend or my friend's wife. We're just going to say their names. That's why. That's how I'm clarifying all this up front.
That's fair.
Nate and Cicely have a son. Are we allowed to do this? Should we, like, saying all their names and stuff?
Is this going to be public, or?
I mean, potentially.
Okay.
Technically.
I'm sure it's fine.
They have a son named Gabe. Kit is David's son, and then they also have a little boy named Griff. So between June and Gabe, there is 4 months. Between Gabe and Kit, there is 4 months. And so they're all within 8 months of each other, and they get to play together and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then Griff is almost a year old?
Griff is like a year old.
Yeah.
And so now he is. But so anyway, talking to David, said, hey, Texas is on our list. He said, move here. Like, then June and Kit Kit can play, and Gabe's here too, and and it's a nice complex with a pool, and so we're like, okay, we're gonna do that. And then a month later, we're like, no, there's no way we're gonna do that. And then a month later, we're like, we're gonna do that.
We just kept waffling.
We kept going back and forth on what we were gonna do or where we were gonna go.
Well, because we didn't know whether all of a sudden, not Sony, Netflix would be like, hey, come back, like we're opening the studio. So we just didn't know if it was gonna be too risky to just like move out and then suddenly have to move back again.
Yeah. But so we just decided to
do it because we Netflix still had no idea, and they didn't have any plans for it, and they said if we do, or at whichever point we do decide to come back, you'll have at least 3 months heads up. And so we felt like, well,
so we're like, okay, we can.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon, so we'll probably be okay to move. And so.
And so far, it's been good. So, but we moved to Texas, and the ordeal to get to Texas was wild. My dad and I drove to California to pick up our stuff, and then all the way across to Texas, and then drove back because we used my grandpa's trailer, which will be forever indebted to him for that. Which so I mean, much. We already are, but and then we dropped the trailer off. And then June and Brooklyn flew down the next week, and I drove our car there the next week. So it was like, for me, I think it was over, like, was it 60 hours? No, not 60 hours. 40 hours of
No,
driving.
it was more than that. I think it was at least 50, right? Because it's 10 hours.
To Victorville. 18 to...
Yeah, 20-ish, whatever.
20, and then 18 20, back.
And then... 20 back, so 2, 4, 6.
Yep.
It's like 70 hours.
It was an insanely long trip.
Yeah.
But we made it. We were kind of sick during it too, my dad and I, during the first trip, and that was poopy. That was just like it was a long, hard trip, but we got to see some stuff my dad served his mission in northern Arizona, and so as we drove across northern Arizona, we were able to see like places that he served his mission, which was kind of cool. Yeah. We stopped at a giant meteor crater that my dad had always wanted to see, but didn't realize that he drove past it like 40 times when he was on his mission. And it was literally like 5 miles off the road, but he never saw it. So we went there, and that was really cool. We saw a meteor crater.
He didn't know it was there, or he knew and just had never
He knew it
gone?
was in Arizona. He just didn't know how close it was to that road specifically that they'd driven. Gotcha. So in there, and it really was just like, we'd get up, we'd drive for 12 hours, and then we'd sleep. But we did make it. Went through, was it 8 states, I think? Because it was Wyoming, Utah,
Nevada,
California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado. Did I say Colorado?
I don't think so.
9 states.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of states.
We will never split up our stuff again.
No.
And this is not the first time it's happened, because we packed our car full of the stuff that we needed for Rhode Island, drove out there, and we just left our stuff in Utah. That wasn't such a big deal because we knew we'd be coming back to Utah, but it still is hard to like split up your stuff, because it's like you need stuff when you go there, so you have to like buy it, and you don't know if you should like bring it back.
And then we did it again when we went to California.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And left all our stuff like in your parents' garage.
Because it's just an internship, and so we're like, we might not get a job at the end of this, and so we might have to move back. So anyways,
so it took us we did that in 3 trips, and then this one we're doing in we did 1 trip, but had to get it all together. But yeah, we've decided we will never split our stuff up again.
Unless.
I mean, it's I think that the thing is, we will store it, but we'll store it all together. Never again will it be more than a carload one place. Like if we have to take a car somewhere, we'll take our car somewhere, but never more than a carload in one place and then our stuff somewhere else. We are really going to try not to do that.
Yeah, because that sucked.
It was so bad, but yeah, so we made it to Texas though. We got here in January. It was really fun. It's been a really cool adventure.
Yeah.
Texas.
We got here right before that giant freeze, though. If you guys remember,
there was a giant freeze,
like an Arctic freeze. I don't
don't
know what they call it.
It just got like so cold here. It snowed probably 6 or 7 inches in Texas, which it does not do. I guess supposedly it's cyclical. Like they have this happen about every 10 years. There's like some sort of freeze and this happens.
But this was like the worst one in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, at least 10 years. I think it was similar 10 years ago.
Okay, I thought it was like at least 30 or 40 years. It hadn't.
I don't know. I mean, it's been like this.
It was like -2-3 degrees, and like pipes were freezing and breaking. Like once it all thawed, like there was like people's houses flooded, and like people didn't have
power for a while.
Yeah, power, and our water sanitation, like our whatever the one nearby for our area.
Plant.
Yeah, the water treatment plant lost power, and so we had to basically boil all our water for like 2 weeks until they knew it was clean again. So anyways, it was crazy. But
it wasn't 2 weeks. Part of it was like 5 days.
Oh, okay.
That we boiled our water. It does like a long time. It changes everything when you're in those kind of situations. But
yeah, so that was a fun welcome to Texas, but
it really wasn't that bad. And we only lost power for like 10 minutes. Yeah. Compared to some people that didn't have power for a couple of days, and so we really did we lucked out. we were blessed. But anyway, that was like kind of the first thing that happened. As it warmed up, Texas became a lot more like beautiful. It got green. It's a beautiful state.
It is beautiful.
We've been traveling around to different places and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's hot, and that sucks. Just kidding. It's actually not too hot. I mean, it's hot. Right now it's 86
hot
degrees.
And humid.
But it's humid too, and so it just kind of, as you get used to it, it's like, I don't know, it takes some time to get used to the heat. So, but it's been really good. We've been doing a lot of stuff here. One of the reasons that we wanted to move somewhere is because we kind of want to do what we've coined the term slow traveling.
I don't know if we coined it.
No, I've coined it. I coined it right now. Well, we've been kind of just talking about this concept of slow traveling, if not coining the phrase, if not inventing what this is. We've been talking a lot about slow traveling, where you move somewhere for a year, like 6 months to a year, and then you can have kind of like a home base and go out from there and like see things and kind of get a feel for living somewhere instead of just being a tourist, which I mean, I don't know.
It's fun too. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun for both. But like we kind of were toying with this idea because Brooklyn, since she wasn't working in a studio at the time, like just working from home, it's like we can go anywhere, and so it's like, why not go places and experience things even just on the weekends, when we go move to these places. So and then that's kind of what we've been doing.
Yeah, and then you have that equilibrium where it's like you're not just gone, because some people will travel full time. Oh, well, no, but like some people, it's called like digital nomad or something like that. People will travel full time, and they just like will work on their laptop, but they're always just kind of like, yeah, they'll move. Like sometimes they'll stay at a place for a few weeks. Sometimes it's like a month or two. Sometimes just a few days. And I feel like you just have to be a certain kind of personality. I don't know if I could do it, just because I start feeling sick from not like having a home base.
Yeah. Living out of suitcases.
Yeah, it's like, and maybe you could get used to it, but I just feel like
everything.
Yeah, I'd need some sort of stability. But yeah.
And so that's what we decided. And so since we decided that, we've been going to different places. We've like tried to pin down all the cities that we want to go to in Texas, all the things we want to do while we're here, and then planning them out within a year. Sorry, I'm gonna open the door a little. Hopefully it doesn't. Oh yeah, of course. It didn't change anything because the light's not on out there, but it feels way better because it gets hot. We're in a closet again.
Oh yeah.
At least we're not under blankets.
Oh my god.
That was hilarious that we'd do that. Cover ourselves with blankets and record on the laptop. That was insane.
Dripping sweat by the end.
That was disgusting. It is hot in the closet if you close the door though, but it feels nice right now. So so things we've been doing kind of around Fort Worth. We've tried to do things here So we've been to the zoo a bunch. We got a pass to the zoo because it's perfect for June, and it's only about 20-ish minutes away, and so we can just pick up and go to the zoo on days when we don't know what we're gonna do, and then June and I can just walk around, and she really likes that. Downtown Fort Worth is we've not like, well, I mean, now that we have a kid, it's harder to like go to all these restaurants or go see like things. It's a little
the
harder.
nightlife, right?
Yeah, but we've been down there a bunch there's a big park near downtown Fort Worth called Trinity Trails, and it's an enormous like park system that runs along the Trinity River system. The Trinity River. We're just gonna look that up real quick. Sure.
Your face.
We have a filter on. We got a green screen behind us, so if I get too close, it gets wackadoo. Yeah, so like the Trinity River runs through Fort Worth, and it's kind of branches, and there's like all of these different trails that go from from all through it basically. So even we went like hiking at this place near the Air Force Base that's like, I don't know, it's got to be 15-20 miles away from like the Trinity Trails Park in Fort Worth. In Fort Worth, the Trinity Trails Park is like a big park with, you know, lots of with like playgrounds and basketball courts and stuff like that. We're probably like 20 miles away, but they have, even from there, that's part of the Trinity Trails system where they have like a paved or at least like nice dirt trail that runs even from there all the way into that central Trinity Trails area. So like I think it's
really
like
long river.
I think I mean it just runs, these parks run like the length of the river kind of thing, and so or at least through this like more metropolitan area of Fort Worth. So it's a really cool park. But we've done stuff down there, and that's
the stockyards.
Oh yeah, the stockyards are a big Fort Worth thing. It's like where they bring in the cows to ship them around, because Fort Worth is a cattle town. It is affectionately known as Cowtown. That's like its nickname. You'll see it around things. People's businesses will be like Cowtown Burgers or Cowtown Traders or stuff like that, because that's what Fort Worth is. And then and down there is pretty cool. It's more of just like here are a bunch of restaurants and gift shops, and there's rodeo grounds there too. So it's used and a popular like place. Like it's useful. It's not just like a tourist place. Like they use it for that. But
it's cool though. It's like got a bunch of original or at least like it feels like they're like the original Westy. Yeah, like architecture and stuff, and they've got like some of the oldest restaurants, at least in Fort Worth, are kind of down in that area. They're like 1920, 1930.
Yeah, we went to the oldest,
which is like not super old compared to other places in the US or the world, but kind of cool.
But well, I mean, yeah, a lot of restaurants don't last that long though. We went to the oldest restaurant in Fort Worth, and it was 1920. Yeah, was when it was.
I think so, around 1920.
It was like good, but it was also kind of a dump. It's just like an old building. The food was good, and like the service was fine, and but it's kind of cool because they hadn't changed a lot of the old buildings. So
but it was a restaurant. They have a special named after FDR, right? Because it was one of his favorite restaurants that he would go to when visiting like his son or his brother or something that lived in Fort Worth.
Yeah, and so he'd go to that restaurant, and they made a special named after him.
Which I don't think we got, did we?
No.
It didn't sound very good.
No, it didn't. FDR had some, maybe a weird palate. Just kidding. We don't know. But yeah, we didn't get it. But we've done that kind of stuff. That's like a lot of this stuff around Fort Worth that we've been doing, is like finding parks, finding different restaurants. Even Flags. Well, yeah, I mean, but that's not in Fort Worth. So
that's true.
Yeah. I'm just like talking about like really close to home. We also have a pass to Six Flags. Six Flags is in Arlington, which is about 30 minutes away on a good traffic day, sometimes 45, depending. But so we got passes to Six Flags because Six Flags has like super cheap passes, compared to their normal ticket price.
Mm-hmm.
So
you only have to go like twice.
Yeah,
really
it's like I think it was like $670 for the season pass, and like a normal ticket is like $50. So so it's like it's a pretty good thing to do. June's really enjoyed Six Flags, but she's terrified of some of the things. It's kind of sad because she really likes going on the rides. And then as soon as the crossbar comes down, she like starts like, no, I don't want to be on here. I don't want to be on here. Then the ride starts.
Yeah,
and
it's like too late to
and she's trying to get out. And then we get off and she's like, fun, like walks away, like wants to do it again. But she doesn't want to do it again. But we've been kind of going down there and walking around. There are some rides she really likes. She really likes teacups. There's like, the airplanes, which it's Batman themed, but the Batwing, which is basically, you know what? This is why I did this, just so we could do this. Six Flags. This is another reason that we decided to. Oh no, that's the Batman ride. Don't do that to me.
Airplane.
Oh, I found it right here. This is another reason. Six Flags, the zoo. The zoo's nice. It's the best zoo in the nation.
Mm-hmm. Rated
number
I don't
one
know who
by
rated it,
Independent Zoo Raiders Limited.
It's like it's like the something ethical. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
A good zoo.
It's a good zoo. Well, yeah, it's a good zoo. We went to the Houston Zoo. We'll talk about Houston a little bit too. The Houston Zoo is just a little different. It's more like a park zoo where it's just like a big flat park. But there's like still, right? I mean, there's landscaping, but and the enclosures, some of them you have to like kind of go up onto a boardwalk area to like see some of the animals. But at the Fort Worth Zoo, it's like built almost on this like hill, so you like at least part of it is where you walk up into things and see stuff. So it's like it feels very like themed and zooey. But that's pretty fun. So, but going back, we're gonna hit 2 trips that we've done since we've been here because we are trying to do like as many big city trips as we can. So the first city that we went to was San Antonio, and that we went to with the gang here over Memorial Day. Was it Memorial Day weekend, I think?
Yes.
Yeah. So we had a long weekend, and we all went down there. And so San Antonio, I had no idea what to expect. David planned the trip as far as just like where the hotel was going to be and some of the stuff that we were going to do. The only thing I knew about San Antonio is it's where the Alamo is. And I really wanted to see the Alamo. I was really excited about that.
Yeah, I really didn't know a single thing about it. I didn't look anything up. I was like, oh, it's
Yeah,
just be a fun little trip.
So the San Antonio has a really cool when those browsers come on that are bright, it blows out my face. So the
they will live there.
Yeah, maybe. Chantel said that she was going to be in San Antonio the exact same time as us, or pretty close, but they ended up canceling that trip, so that would have been cool. But you should still go, Chantel, or anyone who's listening.
Has she been before at all?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No. But that kind of does lead us into our next trip. So this weekend was this week was 4th of July. Last weekend, I guess, was 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
But Brooklyn, the Netflix, being a very generous company, gave her the whole week off. At least her team, the whole week off.
No, it was the whole studio.
The whole studio took it off. Oh, yeah. So they took the whole week off because they've all been working hard and deserve a big vacation. And
it was like a burnout break. They're like, yeah, they just felt like it's been crazy lately. And
yeah.
So they're like, we're going to give you those extra 4 days off. And so I was like, dope.
And it was awesome. We after 4th of July, basically we took off to Houston on Monday. Was it Monday that we left, or Tuesday? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, we came back Thursday night. So we left Tuesday morning, like just spur of the moment, because we were taking the Jellens. Both of the Jellens are in Florida right now on a big family trip kind of thing, and so we were taking one of them to the airport, and I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do or what our plans are, and then they said, hey, this is the time we're going, or we need you to take us. And I was like, we can fit a trip in, and so we just like took off and we went to Houston.
Yeah, Matt came in. I was like changing June's diaper, and he's like, how fast can you get packed? And it was like an hour later we were in the car and
driving. Yeah. And
it
was really fun. We went all the way to Galveston the first day, which is about an hour past Houston, but right on the Gulf of Mexico. And Galveston, and that was really fun. We went to the beach for a little bit. We didn't have a ton of time.
We just spent like that evening there.
Yeah, we spent that evening on the beach and stayed in a hotel that was like right there. Like right across from the beach. And the beach at Galveston was really interesting. Well, just because I guess I have it in my head that it's kind of like, well, I just have like Venice Beach and Santa Monica Beach in my head, where there's the long sandy beaches that go out to the ocean with big like crashing waves. This beach was a little different, and maybe it depends on where you are. I'm sure it does on Galveston Island, because I know there's other beaches than where we stayed, but we were right on the seawall, and so the beach was sandy, but like when it's high tide, like the water comes all the way to the seawall, so it's not like the sandy beaches that never get touched by water and then the watery part of the beach. It's just like the watery part of the beach. But we built a sandcastle, we played in the waves a little bit. The water was warm.
Yeah, it was
not
like
super warm.
Yeah, it was like
I guess it wasn't raining air, though.
Yeah,
it was overcast.
It was overcast and like, I don't want to say cold because it was still like 85 degrees, but like when it's humid, it sometimes can feel colder. I don't know. Sometimes it feels hotter. Sometimes it feels colder. I don't get it, but
it felt awesome though.
Yeah, it felt good, and the water was still like surprisingly really warmish, but it was fun. So we got to play in the waves, but like they're coming at weird angles. Like sometimes they'd like go back and then like slap you from behind. And so it's like waves coming from all angles, and we were like a little anxious about June, just because she was like wanting to swim, but she kept getting splashed in the face with the salt water.
We have a pool here at our complex, and the pool and she's been swimming in the pool a ton, and we have just floaties, and she's really confident in that pool. Like she'll just kind of step off there's like a ledge from this like shallow walk down area. She'll like just step off the edge into the pool, and she's really happy about that.
Like kick around and can kind of swim.
Can swim around, can kind of like spin and roll and stuff like that. And so she kind of, I think she took that into the ocean a little bit as well, and was like, I want to swim, but it's like, you can't swim in this. Like, like not only is it like the weight, like she doesn't know how to like handle the waves. The waves are much larger than she is even. Like, and they weren't big waves, and they were still bigger than she was. And anyway, so it was still fun, and like we just kind of held her floaty and just like let her play in the waves a little bit, and then just built sandcastles.
It was fun.
was I gonna say?
The whole city is like, not the whole city, but like some of the less structurally sound buildings that aren't like solid are
Like
built
houses.
on stilts. Yeah, all the houses are built on stilts because of all the hurricanes that happen there.
Water that comes in.
Yeah, and so that was kind of interesting to see. But
Yeah.
it was surprisingly very, like, not as dense as I thought it would be. When you go to Venice Beach,
Yeah.
or any of those beaches in California, it's like so packed that, I don't know, they just like take advantage of every single spot for real estate. And in Galveston, it was like there were these big,
Yeah, like the housing, the area around the beach.
yeah, it was like there were big fields or like big yards, and I was kind of surprised by that. I thought it would be
Not. Yeah, it's
packed,
not as like.
but it's not. So
Not as packed around the beach.
because it's a pretty like famous destiny, like vacation spot.
Definitely.
And so, but
yeah. The water temperature there right now is 84 degrees. So
okay,
that's pretty warm water.
yeah.
That's pretty warm water.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. And so it was pretty fun. Then we went to Houston does a city pass. So the next day and a half we spent in Houston, and they do a city pass where you can get into like 5 different things and you basically get half off all of them. And so we got those, and the things we went to was the Johnson Space Center, which is is like NASA's headquarters, where like Houston, we have a problem. Like that's the Houston, like that's what they're talking about. They're talking to
No,
Houston.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to go
That's
see mission control and stuff. That I think that's what those like tram tours were.
Oh, okay.
That took you to
Houston,
like see
Mm.
like the
I thought that was just like a
Mission
movie
Control.
reference, and they're talking to somebody named Houston.
no
It's like Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas is what they're
Ah,
talking about.
Okay.
Yep. And so we did that, and that was really fun. Lots of spacey things. I really like rockets. It's always like when I see like the videos they put together or like stuff from space or rockets, I always get like chills or like the awe factor, like the AWE factor inside of me just like rises.
Not that.
And I'm just like
aw.
in awe of what's going on around me, like the genius people that put
Yeah.
people on the moon and send people to space and stuff. And so that was really cool, really fun.
Oh, I guess both of us, we touched a piece of the moon, and there's only 8 of them in the whole world
that you can touch.
that the public is allowed to touch. And I touched one of them. It's so cool.
She did. I did too. And June tried to, but
She couldn't get her hand up.
she didn't realize
to,
what she was supposed to be touching either.
Yeah, it's like placed in this glass box, and you have to like put your hand down and then up onto it so you can touch it.
So people don't steal it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like placed in there. It's like secured, and I don't know how you would steal it, but
Me neither.
anyways,
It was pretty cool though.
it was really cool.
And we got to go on. They have like a shuttle that, like an actual space shuttle there that they have like kind of not gutted, but just like made it so you can walk around in it like and stuff. That was really cool. That was a really cool like experience to see all the space stuff,
Cool.
especially with like the space. I think starting or like right now we're in like this another like space race, maybe not really a race, but just like another like push for getting to space, like all the stuff SpaceX is doing. As a matter of fact, just today, or maybe it was yesterday, I think it's today, but the Virgin Galactic rocket went to space, which is one where the plane flies. I don't know, you didn't see this, but let me see. It's like a plane that flies way high and then it drops off the rocket and then the rocket shoots up. So anyway, but this guy Richard Branson funded the whole thing, and they went to space today. And commercial space flight is like we're on the cusp of commercial space flight and like all of this stuff. And then like the SpaceX, the Falcon rockets that are like landing themselves when they come back and stuff. I mean, it's just I feel like we're in that spot again. So it's kind of cool to see all of this old space things and then like kind of look at all this new space stuff that's happening. So that was cool. Then we went to the zoo. ran over to the zoo. We were only at the zoo for like 45 minutes. We just kind of walked around and saw some of the things that the Fort Worth Zoo doesn't have. Like right now, the Fort Worth Zoo doesn't have tigers or lions or anything because they're remodeling that part of the zoo. And so things for June to see. She was really tired at that point, though.
Yeah. We were all like a little sick still. So we think that June got a bug from Kit and Gabe. And we think they got it from
nursery.
Yeah. Like all the kids like getting back together
yeah.
again. Anyway, so just all those bugs going around again. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're all a little bit like sick and kind of tired and
but I think that like she just hadn't, and it's just been a long day for a little baby.
Yeah.
But then we went but right after that we went to the Houston Children's Museum, which is a museum with like a lot of hands-on science experiments and just like things you can build with and stuff like that. Like water wheels and just all this kind of stuff. It was just really fun. She like sparked back up and like really enjoyed it there.
Yeah, she loved that.
Just kind of like looking at all this stuff and it was just really
There's
good.
A little Korea section.
Oh yeah, there's a little.
We showed Lori.
Yeah, we sent a Marco Polo to Mom because there was a Korean, like a kids Korean section, just kind of like about some of the things you do in Korea, like manners at the table and different types of food they eat and stuff. It's just kind of like a Korea
like
cultural section. Yeah, it was really cool but aimed towards kids, and so it's kind of cool to see some of that stuff. And and then we went to our hotel and hung out. The next day we did the museums. Oh, we did the Natural Science Museum, which was really cool. I really like natural history museums or natural science museums where it's like where there's dinosaurs and animals and like it's talking about like where they come from and like theories around them and stuff like that. That was really fun. June really liked seeing the dinosaurs. Some of them were scary though.
She started getting a little nervous
around some of the like raptors and T-Rexes and stuff. They're just the bones of them, but she's like, scary. It's just funny. And we saw a bunch of really cool minerals and gems and stuff. That is, if you like museums and like to see cool things, that was a really cool museum.
It was a good one, yeah. I feel like I've been to other ones with dinosaur bones and just have like not been that impressed.
Yeah.
But this one is cool because it like wound you through the museum, starting at like the earliest known fossils and then like bringing you to human Neanderthals.
Evolution.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, so definitely that's one. And then we went to the downtown aquarium in Houston, which was garbage.
Yeah, we were like 2 seconds. Garbage. We were like trying to figure out whether or not we wanted to go because we were really tired. We were kind of tired. We were like hitting that edge of like if we leave now, we'd get home a little earlier. Like we knew that we could spend like an hour there, but we kind of like were ready to be home almost kind of thing. But we needed that magnet.
We needed a magnet. We're hunting magnets. Is what we do. The only thing that drives us to experience anything new are magnets. And getting our magnets so that we can say we went to this place and we got one at the downtown aquarium. It was just like it wasn't some of you guys
it's like really cramped.
Yeah, it was really cramped and
tiny.
the aquarium and like there were some cool like fish and some cool like individual tanks, but it wasn't like big. Like I kind of when I think about an aquarium, I kind of think of like the California Science Center is the one I think of. And a couple of you have been there with us. Their like aquarium section is really cool. Like a big tank where they have like tidal like pumps like making the seaweed move and like the shark tunnels that you walk through and there's like sharks over you kind of thing.
Yeah, I think and that's not even like an aquarium. It's just like a section of a science center.
Yeah.
And so
I've not been to the one in Lehigh or in Sandy
in
Draper.
Layton? Not Layton. Yeah, Draper.
West Jordan, South Jordan.
One of those.
North Jordan.
I think it's been a
South
while
Pennsylvania.
since I've been there, but
I feel
like it's
I
decent.
think that one's a bigger aquarium, and kind of, at least from the pictures I've seen of that, that's one that that's like what I thought it would be like, kind of, but it was not. It was like more like, here are fish tanks, small fish tanks, some big fish tanks, but not big fish tanks.
We want it bigger.
And
Yeah.
but they did.
It was
have
just
tigers
it was
there,
very
too.
underwhelming. Oh yeah, they had tigers. Although I feel a little conflicted about big cats in cages.
Small
Yeah,
cages.
it just felt like it was too small of an enclosure,
Yeah.
and so it's just like pacing, which seems like a not very healthy behavior. And I don't know. I'm no zoologist, but it just didn't seem like a very happy tiger.
They were
So,
cool looking though.
They were cool.
Yeah.
But kind of sad. So, anyways,
Brooklyn feels for the tigers.
do.
But yeah, would not recommend that. I
Yeah,
think
I
the
didn't
city
like
pass,
it.
you could do one or the other between an aquarium or the Kima boardwalk. I think, I don't know what that is exactly, but I feel like that would have been a better, just like, hey, let's walk around this boardwalk than
Yeah.
like cramping into this busy aquarium.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because it was busy, but
Yeah. Oh, right by the zoo, they have these paddle boats
oh yeah,
that
we didn't ride on.
we didn't, but we wanted to, and they looked like they were fun.
Yeah.
So
The zoo is
if we were to go back, we'd
the
probably do
z-
that.
Houston, one of the cool things about Houston and that area is there's where the zoo is like a big park, like Central Park type thing. You know, I feel like
Not
the
quite that
Houston.
big, but-
No, it's not that big, but it's like a big squared off area in the middle of a big city
Mhm.
where you've got big buildings all around it, but then like this square, this large commons where they have a zoo and they have, but that's also where all the museums are. So the museums kind of are around it, like Central Park. I mean, it's not exactly like Central Park because it's smaller. It's not New York, but it's like the museums are kind of around the zoo, around the park and stuff. It's kind of like that. And so there's a big lake with big pond lake with paddle boats and a train that goes around and stuff like that. So
That's cool.
it was really cool. That was actually a really cool part of the park, or a part of the city. I probably, if we were to do it again, maybe spend more time just kind of in the park doing things there. I mean, we did things there, but like paddle boats, maybe a picnic, like walk around that park a little bit, because we were kind of, that's like, I feel like the Houston trip, in contrast to the San Antonio trip, was like we were doing things and we were like almost
very
rushing,
structured,
yeah,
yeah.
very structured, rushing to the next thing so we could get it all in before we left, and which was not necessarily bad. Like, we got to see a lot of cool stuff, and we had fun doing it, but
It was a good trip.
it was a good trip. And then on the way back, well, on the way there, this is, I don't know, we went to a place, well, as we were driving to Houston, like right outside of Fort Worth, we started seeing billboards for a place called Cooper Farms, like a family farms store.
And they're advertising peach ice cream.
Peach ice cream and like peach stuff. Like, they're a peach farm that has their own like little convenience store. And I was like, we are going to stop there and get peach ice cream because it sounded so good. I was like, that's just perfect. And so on the way down, it was like, the first one was like 90 miles away. So it's like, I mean, a long time. And then we saw a billboard at like 60 miles and a billboard at 30 miles and then no more billboards for it. And I thought, I was like, it said the exit number 198, I think is the exit.
But we couldn't remember exactly.
But we couldn't remember
was it
exactly.
196 or?
And so as we're getting close to those, like, 190 exits, I started looking at the blue signs that have like restaurants or gas stations on them. And I didn't see anything that said like Cooper Farms. There was no billboards, no nothing. And so we missed the exit. Brooklyn put it in after. I was like, man, you should just like look up where it is, because is it ahead of us or did we just pass it? And we had just passed it. And like the next exit to turn around was like 8 miles away. I was like, that we're not turning around. Like, we're not doing that. But we
hit it on the way
we
back.
hit it on the way back though. And so it's a fun stop. It's like exactly halfway between Houston and Fort Worth. And so that was kind of, it's like 2 hours from Houston to there and then 2 hours from there to home.
Seems closer for some
And
reason.
so it was not a bad stop. The ice cream was awesome. It was kind of like, it was peach ice cream, but then it also had like maybe like some spice in it, like cinnamon, like
yeah, it
like
felt like peach cobbler.
Yeah, like peach cobbler ice cream.
Mhm.
It's just soft serve in like a waffle cone, and it was really good. And we got peaches there, a bag of peaches. They sold us on peaches. They sold us on this refried bean dip that they also home can. That's like kind of sweet.
Samples work.
Yeah,
They really do. They work on me at least.
yeah. We have been duped by samples.
Because it's like
Well,
I
not
never,
duped.
I
It
never
was really good.
like
so
looking at that jar of it was like black eyed pea
refried
and
beans, basically.
peach. Yeah, refried beans. Something. Doesn't that? Isn't
Dip,
that peach in
bean
there?
dip, or yeah.
It's like there's no way I would buy that. That sounds terrible. But I like tried a little bit of the sample and it was so good.
Yeah, so we bought
Anyways, yeah,
some. They didn't have magnets there though,
which was sad.
which was sad. Brooklyn cut the logo off of the
Oh, you saw that?
brown paper bag that the peaches came in and like stuck it under a magnet, like taped it all together and stuck it on the fridge. We have been talking about, is it okay to make a magnet out of other things that are branded? Like, where was that? Was that the Space Center?
Yeah, the Space Center. They had this like really cool thing that like spun around and it was like a little spaceship.
Oh, it's a
spinning around.
keychain.
The keychain, but it's like you could easily just put a little magnet on the back of that. Like buy some magnet strips and stick it to it.
Or just like a magnet and like hot glue it on or something
Yeah.
like that.
And Matt's like, no.
I don't know. I just don't feel like
He's
like
got to have like rules about what's kosher.
yeah, well, like if they don't, I don't want like a whole bunch of. But well,
Yeah.
okay, my mind is changing because I saw the Cooper Farms on the thing and I was like, this is awesome, that's great. But it's like cardboard.
The brown bag
Yeah.
changed your mind.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if those rules stand or what we do. But I don't know. It was a really good trip though. We've been home. We
Yeah,
really like
it's fun.
Texas. Texas has been good, especially for June. It's been really nice to be
Oh,
so
good.
close. So we literally live in the apartment above David Jellin, and then Nate lives a couple buildings away.
Mhm.
But we do a rotation where we like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. One of us takes all the kids so they get to play for a couple hours 3 times a week, and then Sundays we're doing Sundays dinners together so they get to play then, and we also having friends in a new place that you're moving to is really nice. It helps. This is really the first time we've had friends in a place we've moved ever.
Mhm.
Immediately, we've made friends in everywhere we've gone, but it is a lot easier, especially when you're working from home, because you don't have that like that work group that you kind of like talking to, and it's nice to move places where people are,
Mhm.
and that's been really fun. So
Yeah, it's been great.
it's been good for all of us, I think.
Yeah. Stay
We've
tuned
got-
on what is coming next. We're bouncing around a few ideas.
Yeah, we don't know where to go next. We've got 9 more months here technically before our lease is over, and if we break lease it's like super expensive, so we don't want to do that. But got like 9 more months and we don't know where we're going next, so we're taking suggestions. If anyone wants to suggest places that we're gonna go, we could go.
I just know we're gonna get Lehigh, Morgan, Layton is Jenna still in Layton, right?
I think so.
Salt Lake,
Anywhere in Utah.
Arizona, Florida, basically wherever my family lives.
Yeah.
Our family.
No, we we're looking forward to the next part, but we're really enjoying it here. Texas has been awesome. We live really close to a bunch of stores and stuff, so that's nice too. It's just it's been a good place to live.
It's like it's basically like living in, what is that place called in American Fork? Meadows.
Oh yeah, like right by the Walmart and
Yeah, it's like basically any
Costco
store
and
you
stuff.
could possibly think of is here.
yeah.
Costco, Target.
Which I think is really nice to live
All the
here,
other ones.
because then you can just like pop to stuff really fast, and like grocery shopping's easy and things like anything you need. But I do think we miss out a little bit on like the feel of the actual city living here. Like we live in a big apartment
Shopping
complex,
center, yeah.
like a big apartment complex with like a pool, like a gated apartment complex. It's like you're not living in like someone's duplex in the bad part of town.
Which is always super fun.
Which it's not what I'm looking forward to, but like to get that experience of like even living. Our last apartment in Los Angeles was like a dump, but I think it made us appreciate Los Angeles a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
or like where we lived a little more too. So, I don't know. Well, we just hit the hour mark. I think this is a good stopping off point, and we will be a little more consistent from now on
And concise.
and well, I
This
mean,
was
we
a
just
big
won't we
recap.
just won't be covering such a big part, like a big section of time. So
Mhm.
I mean, all our other ones are an hour long. So
That's true.
so it's like whether it's a year or a week, you're gonna get an hour long.
What's that
walk and
theory
talk.
that's like you'll expand to fill the time available?
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, we're doing it. So let us know what you think about video, because I don't think the audio quality is going to be the best. I've put a couple like filters on the streaming, like the stream stuff, so that it at least sounds okay, I think. But I know a lot of people will just listen to this anyway. A lot of the time they listen to it while they're doing dishes or driving or something like that. So
They won't see me do this.
no. But if you like video, let us know. If audio, no, you know what, we're gonna do this next week. We're gonna live stream this Walker Talk. Brooklyn gets a little nervous with live streams, but we're going to actually live stream it, so anyone who is available at the time can come in and comment. The only reason we're doing that, again, well, it takes one step out of what we have to do if we record this first. We didn't do it today because YouTube requires you to have like a 24-hour like notice between, or like activation period before you can just stream on YouTube. So we're waiting for that. But next week we'll try it live. It'll be exactly the same as this, but it will just be live instead. And if comments get put in, then it can change the way we converse. So but we don't know what we're gonna do. Anyway, that's it. Got anything else?
Nope.
Okay, well, we love you all a lot. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Look at the webcam and say goodbye. You want to see my teeth in this? I've been streaming off and on for a while, just like different things, and we've been working on like, because we got the green screen behind us and stuff. I'm gonna turn it off so you can actually see it, because I think it's kind of funny. We'll just turn off the filter real quick. Doop. So the green screen's just behind us. It's just like hanging in our closet, and we have that kind of stuff going. But turn that back on, see if it blacks out. But it took me like getting the settings for the green screen the first time I did it. Every time I'd smile, it would like have this like nasty teeth. One game that I streamed once had a very green background, like when you'd walk across the grass, and because of that it would cast a green light on my face, and then all of a sudden like my face would just like disappear into the background, or it'd have like this kind of like nasty grainy on it. But we're getting better at settings. Anyway, we love you.
Okay, bye. How do I stop it?
Push the record button.